Welcome to Kin Aesthetic, the Dance in the City 2019 Showcase. Thank you for coming. My name is Barnard, and I have been the program coordinator for Dance in the City this year and last year. And in 2016, I was a PCP student myself. So this is not my first time with this program, but I will say it has definitely been my best time with this program. I've had such an amazing summer working with the new staff that we have in our office, and also with the unbelievable 12 girls that I'm about to introduce for all of you tonight. Dance in the City is a program that Barnard Pre-College runs that is meant to give students a holistic glance at what it means to be a dancer. So both training them as technicians through classes we take at the Navy Extension, but also giving them an opportunity to explore dance criticism by taking them to shows all over the city and running an amazing dance criticism seminar by instructor Sydney Mosley. And also doing this, which is the final choreography showcase that they have been working towards since day one. These people met 12 days ago, and they began to choreograph in groups. Some of them have never choreographed before, some of them have never choreographed in a group before, and all of them have created amazing work. So I'm very excited to share it with you. And I would like to advise everyone that there will be 2 pieces in the show that have flashing lights, so if you need to exit, that will be the 2nd and 4th piece of the night. And at the conclusion of the show, we're going to be having a Q&A with our wonderful pack of dancers. So you can talk all about what they've been up to with this and the rest of the week. But for now, enjoy Kin Aesthetic.
exactly what you run from, you end up chasing. Like you can't avoid, but just chasing it and just like trying, giving it everything that you can. There's always an obstacle.
Some of those thoughts out loud. So take a minute with your partner. Who's sitting next to you? What are some images resonating?
With the light streaming down from the clear source and reacting to it, like looking up.
Okay, so I'd love to hear some thoughts. What are some images that are resonating with you all? Anybody? Yes, in the back.
The subway?
The subway, yes. I see a hand over here.
Oh, snap.
Snapping, yes, okay. Snapping for affirmation. What are some other images? Yeah.
In the second piece, the light streaming down from the top and the sort of like reaching for it and reacting to it and running away from it.
Yes, yes. So this whole stage right, we running away from it. Yes. Other things, yeah.
On the subway, I felt like they were a little sad at one time.
Yes. Sadness on the subway. It's not uncommon. Other images? There was lots of chatter, so I know that we have some things. Yes.
A lot of movement on the third one, and it was just, your inner self coming out.
Your inner self coming out in the third work. Yes. Other thoughts? Yes.
I got serious to Beth vibes from dance number 2.
What, you said Macbeth?
Yeah, like the Scottish play.
Oh, yes. Okay, witches and like. All right, yes. Yeah.
Random order from the first one?
Random order. Okay.
very poignant. What was the inspiration behind
So really, it was kind of like to keep the beat throughout the whole thing, because the song repeated that same phrase over and over. So we thought it would be really cool to add spoken word to it to help keep the building going.
Way in the back.
How did each group decide what to wear?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
Put it online.
Yeah, let's get on the line.
So our piece takes place on the subway and we want it to be very pedestrian, but we all wanted to have something in common because like in the piece, the subway is something that brings us all together. So the gray for us is what brings us.
For us, I think the clothes were less essential to the piece.
Speak out to the people.
The clothes were less essential to the piece, so we try to keep it black and minimal to let the music and the meaning of the dance really speak for itself.
And we also knew we wanted red lighting, so we decided on kind of a more plain color that we could all wear that would look good with red lighting.
Okay, so for our piece, it was very intense and urgent piece, so we wanted a good mixture of industrial colors and whatever we had in our wardrobe that matched.
Also, similar to group 1, we all have one black piece of clothing. So basically the stage right is we're all trying to get away from it, so we're kind of all in the same boat. So the black piece of clothing kind of symbolizes that.
For us, we all, as my classmates have spoken about, we all wanted a unifying factor so that we did look like a group, but we wanted to sort of reflect the 1, 2, 3 in our different color candles.
Other questions from the audience? Yes.
Just for one person from each group, when you're about halfway through, what are you thinking?
Like while we're performing or choreographing?
While you're performing.
When you're about halfway through.
I try not, honestly, I just try not to think, because I think when I start to think, that's when you get nervous. So, I think I'm just really in the moment.
Agreed with Riley, I don't really think, I try to think about corrections or anything, it just stresses me out. If I don't know my correction by the time I'm performing, I'm not going to get it on stage. So I try to really focus on the music, and I let my body move with the music, and then from there the dance just flows. I also try not to think too much.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with me. I try not to think. I try to just live in the moment, because I feel like when I'm living in the moment and really letting go, that's when I'll perform my best.
Like how all these wonderful ladies said. Yeah, you just want to try to focus, because if you think too much, you start to panic, for my situation. And so I just try to focus on what I'm doing.
Other questions? Yeah.
What's the hardest part about choreographing your own piece?
For me, I always have a fear of being unoriginal or cliche or cheesy, and so I think it's a balance of trying to choreograph what works well with your music, and then what also feels genuine and good on your body, and that's sometimes a hard balance.
I think for our group, we were really struggling with modifying, or not modifying, but adapting our movement to fit a bunch of different dance backgrounds and movement styles, and choreographing a piece that looked good on everybody's body was a fun challenge.
I think with our piece, we had a very clear intention that we wanted to portray. So I think making sure that we portrayed it through our movement and the message came across to the audience, and the audience understood it. That was probably the hardest part.
I think we but one thing is that we had at the beginning we had a lot of the same formation, so that was kind of a challenge
to like figure out new ways to like switch it up, like switch facings, and that kind of stuff. And also at the beginning, we didn't have like a super clear theme or idea. We kind of like built that along through the process. So that was kind of like we didn't have like a clear idea to kind of create movement from, which is a little bit challenging at times.
In addition, all three of us have very different styles, very different dance backgrounds, so it was difficult trying to choreograph a piece that fit all of us, that wasn't leaning too much towards one style, and we also experimented with juxtaposing different styles onto different people's bodies, which you might have seen us when we started doing other dances later in the piece. So it was just difficult trying to find a dance that fit and looked good on our bodies, as Parker said earlier.
Would anybody like to share just kind of an overview of what our choreographic process was from beginning to end? I mean, you don't have to go day by day, but you know. Yeah, Parker.
So we choreographed a bunch of different phrases through like improvisation exercises. So we would get prompts or just music or just free time to choreograph anything that we wanted to, but very on-the-spot improvisation. And then we played with speeding things up, slowing them down, moving them around, had other people try and do your phrases. And then by the end of the first week, we had a bunch of material to work with and then we were said to create a dance, and we could use what we had or not used it. And after that, we adapted our movement, and that's sort of where everything changed for groups. For our group, we sort of created a storyboard of what we wanted our piece to be, and then went phrase by phrase and started plugging things in. But I know other groups worked in different ways after we had all of our phrases together.
We actually began our process with a pretty basic but solid idea of what we wanted our narrative to look like. And we actually ended up re-choreographing our piece like 2 days ago because we decided that it wasn't really true to the message that we initially started with. And the first time we choreographed it, we were really leaning towards our aesthetic preferences, as we talked about in class, rather than really using movements that actually contribute to the narrative and not to what we like to see on stage. And so that's why we decided to redo most of our piece, just to make sure that our impact on you guys would be the same as our original intention.
Yes.
In what ways did the master classes that you attended over the past 2 weeks influence what you performed tonight?
I'd love to know that too.
We had the opportunity to take a bunch of really different style master classes, and at least for me, I think kind of having to put those movements on your own body, and I think it just opens you up to a whole different world of just trying things out that you're not comfortable with, and even though you might consider yourself a one style dancer, that you can totally implement all those other styles, and it makes the piece way more interesting.
I know for me, it definitely made me a lot more motivated, because before the master classes, I was like, oh yeah, I love dance, but afterwards, I was like, I love dance, so much. So I think it really made me you need studio space all the time, you need to dance all the time, and a lot of experimenting.
Any other questions about our experience that we've had the past couple of weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So how did you get from not knowing each other to in the beginning to being able to choreograph and dance together?
Go ahead.
I think most of it is that we've just spent 24 hours with each other for the past 2 weeks, literally from day one, because we've been in the studio or in the classroom pretty much all day long, and then our floor was only us, and all of our roommates were other dancers, so we were all in the same general area for pretty much all day, every day, so I think that really helped us get close super fast.
I think it also helped that there were only 12 of us in our program. So I don't know about you guys, but at orientation, when they were like, oh, like dance people raise their hand, I was like looking around, like, where are the dance people? So I think we all just kind of like, were like, okay, we'll all like migrate together.
Any last thoughts, questions? Yeah.
Was anyone not a dancer with this?
No. Anybody not a dancer? Anybody like maybe just come into dance like in recently in life? No. Okay, all right. You know, dancers, we start real young. Yes. Yes.
Just a general question. What performances did you see over the past 2 weeks that you enjoyed?
One of my favorites is we got to go to the New Victory Theater. And they just basically put on this performance with 4 different companies, each performing one piece. And they were all just like wildly different styles. And one of my favorite parts about it is it was just like a very family-oriented show. So we had this MC who would come out and like ask the little kids questions. And it was so entertaining because they'd be like, what was everyone's favorite part? And this girl was like, I love avocados. Yes, this is exactly what I want paired with like a really good like dance performance. So that was by far the best thing.
What were the 4 companies we saw?
Oh wow, I really don't perfectly remember.
Yeah.
American Ballet Theater.
Ballet Next. Ballet Next.
Caleb Kicker and Company. This is the
Yes. So it was a tap dance company. This is all still in the New Victory program. Tap dance, ABT, American Ballet Theater, Ballet Next, which is a contemporary ballet company, and then Preeti, somebody tell me the last Vasudevan, which was contemporary Indian dance. So that was one program. What else did we see?
We also saw Chicago.
On Broadway.
Yeah, on Broadway.
He had it coming.
That was incredible. I think that was definitely one of my favorites. And I think the main character, Roxy, that was like her first
Roxy Hart, yeah.
Yeah, the actor, that was her first show, and she was absolutely incredible. So that was really fun.
And there was one more. What else did we see?
Bournonville Legacy.
The Bournonville Legacy. Can you inform the people about the Bournonville Legacy?
So basically it was just different excerpts of Bournonville.
August Bournonville.
Yeah, August.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you're right.
Didn't want to get it wrong. He had many famous ballets, and I believe it was La Sophie. I forgot the one in Act 2.
Listen, don't ask me either.
Yeah, but it was just 2 excerpts of different ballets. The first one was very like typical classical ballet, like romance and they die. So, and then the second one was more upbeat, and it was at the Joyce Theater, which is a really small theater, and it was very different to watch a ballet from there, but it was still really breathtaking.
Okay, I think that we did it. Thank you very much.